That's a great volleyball match with great attendance. Again, I've been saying it all week, but I think that's just a win for the volleyball industry. I hope we get some questions, but there's some players on that team that I'm just super impressed with. I'm just thrilled that was a win for volleyball as a whole. So I'm ready for questions beyond that.
How about the question in the red? Start with Joe and Brian. No, sorry, go ahead. You got it. There you go.
There you go.
Here's a question for me. As far as you guys being in the Big West Conference, which is not a powerhouse type conference, but there's 3 Big West teams in this Final Four match. What does it mean for the conference as a whole for you guys to show out and show up?
I mean, I think it's really cool anytime, for the conference, they've got to be excited about it. I think Shane said it really well the other night, and I think it bears repeating. We are very aware that if there wasn't tournament expansion, we wouldn't have even been in a conversation for that first round. We wouldn't have had a chance to be here. And so I think, you put enough good teams out there and we play this tournament over 10 times. It's probably not 3 Big West teams going at it now into the Final Four. But because we've got a bigger field and volleyball is a funny game where every time the whistle blows, it ends in a point. We end up with some of these scenarios. So I think it's cool, but I don't think there's ever been a question about, the quality of teams in the Big West. I think this can feel affirming on some level, but I think it's really just kind of a cool moment in time.
Coach, you guys win the transition game. You have 4 players and double-digit kills. What was, going into this game, the level of offense that you guys were expecting, and did they show up in this match?
Yeah, I didn't know. As we were going through the match, I feel like we had a couple slow starts, and then kills started adding up, and all of a sudden I was kind of looking down, and it's like, gosh, we're hitting 400 coming out of game 2 that we lost, and I'm thinking, our offense is humming, but also Ball State's doing everything they need to do to put themselves in a position to win. So as I was looking down, I was also just kind of tracking that, they're not having the 385 night that they've been having all year. And I think some of that's credit to service pressure, some of that's credit to just some scrappy digs. And so, yeah, I don't know that I had a lot of expectations in terms of what the numbers were going to be at the end of the match. I did expect us to stay committed to competing the whole way through. And you saw some nice lead changes in all the sets. And I just those are 2 teams that are working really hard to stay in the moment. And I don't feel like anybody ever lost traction for momentum, except maybe in the last 3 points there. And but for the very much of that match, it felt like it was just a back and forth. Nobody was letting up ground.
Will, you're one of the more experienced guys on the team. What does it mean to be closing out your final year of college volleyball with a trip to the championship game?
Look, first and foremost, I'd like to give full credit to the boys. I think we went out there and had a fantastic game tonight. Again, I think I said this last time, for us and for me, but more for us, it just means more volleyball. And so that's an opportunity that we are beyond excited for, and we are looking forward to Monday for sure.
Hey, Coach. Passing has kind of been the name of the game for y'all all season, and tonight was no different. I think Ball State only had, 2 aces, and I think one of them was kind of a trickler over the net. Just talk about the passing job that obviously your libero Shane Aiken's done, as well as Andre and Andreas.
Yeah, I mean, they've been so good all year, and I think you get into these moments and it's like, we got to play up or we got to play down or we got to change our game plan or we got to do more or we've got to do less, and it's like we just need to stay undistracted and kind of keep doing what we've been doing. It won't benefit us for me to say this because he's graduating, and there's a lot of young, really good outside hitters out there, but Patrick Rogers is the best outside hitter in the country. And I know that's going to bring the full force on us next year for some younger outside hitters that think they're vying for that spot. But he is a fantastic volleyball player.
Yeah, for players, late in that third set, I believe Ball State took a 25-24 lead, and you guys were able to fight back, score 3 straight. How big of a momentum switch was that to then carry into the 4th set?
So try to work your way down to the players.
Honestly, it's huge. When we're just trying to play our hearts out, especially when we're down a point, we know every point matters, and we are going to celebrate like every point matters. So I think once we get one, that energy switch of celebrate every point like we won, I think it does a huge thing for us, and I think it motivates us to keep going and just keep getting one more and then eventually winning it out.
Yeah, I think for me, it was more so just like we spoke about playing between the whistles and not giving any other point more value than any other point, no matter where you are in the set or in the game. So it was the same intention as we would for any other point. I think we went out there and executed quite well with that too.
Yeah, from my own experience playing those third sets when it gets a little close and going to extra points, for me it's really the key for a game, for the whole match to win this third set. And I think the momentum carried us on in the fourth set where we felt like we were almost invincible. And I think that's also because we had the lead and were able to put some good pressure on the service line and just play more relaxed overall.
Yeah, for the players, we've got a good selection here. You got a freshman, you got a senior, and you got a JUCO transfer. What does it mean for you guys to be in the national championship?
Honestly, it's everything. I think we have spent so much time together, and I think we might have had rocky starts in the beginning, or we might have hit our patches. But once we played together on a team, I think majority of us were, all of us. I'm sorry, we're all unstoppable if we played together. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we work for all year, and to be in a position to go and have a crack on Monday is fantastic. So, I mean, we're all super, super excited, and yeah, it's amazing. That's what I can say.
Yeah, I mean, these are the type of games for what we practice for. Like, since the beginning of the year, we had one main focus on, and it was to get in the spot to win the national championship. And now that we're in, I mean, it means everything for me, for all the boys. I mean, we all love each other so much, and just being able to do that all together, it means the world to me.
Andre, in yesterday's press conference, talked a little bit about just kind of the culture around UC Irvine men's volleyball and the fans and the engagement. And we saw that firsthand tonight, especially after the third set. And I feel like you're a guy that really rises to emotions of the crowd. Can you just talk a little bit about getting into it and kind of feeling the vibe from the crowd and just letting that ride the momentum?
Yeah, I mean, it was such a fun atmosphere from the fans, from everyone. Like, it gives me a little boost, and in those moments where it's important, I remember that I don't only play for myself, but I also play for everyone who's in the crowd, for all my teammates, and it just gets me even more fired up.
Yeah, and I'll just say from a coach's perspective, we really appreciated the effort and energy that the administration put into, sending buses up the 405 freeway. For those of you that don't live in Southern California, you don't really understand the Herculean effort that is, even on a Saturday, to battle your way. It's like swimming upstream all the time. And I think we sent 3, 4, or 5 buses up the 405 loaded with students. We had a bunch of people drive themselves because the buses sold out in a day, and they had to find their own way here and buy their own GA ticket. And I mean, that was just like wind in our sails tonight. And I think that just can't be overstated, what that feels like for an athlete. The energy of that crowd is just so special. Yeah, we don't have anywhere to be, so if there's questions. Yeah.
Hi, David. Haley, OC register, by the way.
Yeah.
We talked on the phone.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Yeah, me too. But you led UC Irvine to a championship in 2013. I'm wondering if you see any similarities between that year's team and this one, and the paths that they took to get here.
That's a great question. I see a lot of similarities. I did not lead that team, and I'm not leading this team. This team is leading this team. It's so fun for me when I look around and, I inherited a super talented team in my first year. I mean, they won despite me. And I think, as I'm kind of looking around right now with the players we've got, it's been so fun to be able to have just like high-level adult conversations about, not just the volleyball, but also like expectations. And, if there's one thing, I'm not asking them to do anything that's outside their skill set, but they've just been, the back and forth has just been really honest about like, hey, I think this. And I mean, even starting rotation tonight, and I don't mind throwing this out there for everybody to know, but I was going to start in one rotation, and Andre kind of gave me the look like, and I said, well, where would you be comfortable? Yeah. All right, well, then we'll do that.
Coach, I'll start from you and then ask one of the players. 2 weeks ago, you guys hosted the Big West Tournament in Irvine. You walked off the court in the semifinals. To get from there to where you guys are now tonight for a national championship, how do you guys manage to do it?
Well, we haven't had to play Hawaii or Long Beach. I mean, it's a tough conference, you know. It's like I don't know. I mean, there's not a lot that's changed, but it's it's like good team after good team after good team, and now we've played the MIVA champions, and they're a legitimate team. I think the thing that's been the biggest change for us since we stepped into Poly Pavilion is just our commitment to play between the whistles, like Will said, and I think hosting is wonderful. Hosting is wonderful. It's amazing when we get to host at UC Irvine, and it's also incredibly distracting. Because there's no hotel to go home to, like you're in it. We're still going to classes. Like there were guys that didn't show up for serve and pass because they're taking exams. If you're on a road, you wouldn't even think about that. You just proctor the exam or move it to another day. But when you're at home, you're looking around like, well, I'm here. I mean, I might as well take the test. There's no reason to push it back a week. And so I think, eliminating some of those distractions has been really nice. We've had great professors that are willing to work. Again, we're still in session. All the semester schools are done, right? So we're a quarter system. So we're just at midterm time right now. So I think some of those things, but from a volleyball standpoint or preparation standpoint, I really don't think it's been anything else. I think it's just the same stuff we've been doing all year.